Hey, what's going on, guys? Doing something a little different here. I think we all know, especially us as black people, we know about these Tubi movies, and I discovered the delicious art of Tubi movies over a year ago or so. But I wouldn't watch them religiously. I still don't now, but I'll give them more of a chance. A lot of them are just entertaining. Some of them are actually good or interesting, or they are along the Tyler Perry lines where they're talking about real things. They just may not have all of the tools to address the issues in the best way possible. But some of them are better than others. They're not all trash. But when they are trash, they're delicious, beautiful trash. The type of entertainment you look for. I'll say like I just brought up Tyler Perry. My favorite Tyler Perry movies are those that they're just him. The Fall from Grace, the Temptation, things like that. The Medea movies and things of that nature just aren't for me. But the ones that are just the delicious relationship, as subtle as the Anvil movies, those are the ones I enjoy the most. So I want to start watching these movies and sort of judging them on a case by case basis. I'm not coming here to just roast them. And if there's something positive about them, I will say it. But if there's something silly about it, I'm gonna talk about that too. So the first movie I queued up, I literally turned on Tubi and I was looking at what were the newest movies, whatever. Whenever something drops on Tubi that they know that a lot of people will go for it, it'll be right there when you turn it on. So and I just decided to just go with the first one that I saw. So it was Black Men Don't Cheat. It wasn't just because it was the first one that I saw. With that title, I was already sitting there like, it was going to be one of those movies. That phrase, I know comedian Lil Duval made that even more famous. I don't think he invented it, but he definitely made it more famous. And we all know what it is. Some men like to say things of that nature, but we all know it was nonsense, and it's not something you have to totally take seriously. But in this movie, they really don't. They do take the subject matter seriously, but it comes to a point where I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, is this supposed to be a comedy now, or is this a parody of Tubi? What is going on here? And part of it is that I feel like they know what they're doing. I'll point out one part that happened pretty early on. You may see me look down at my phone at certain points. It's just because I want to get my structure right. Because at a certain point, things and information just started hitting me. I may, even with the notes I took, I may forget certain things or a certain order, but I'm going to try to get it right. There will be spoilers. I'm going to assume that if you're clicking on a video wanting to see a review or thoughts on this movie, you already saw it. You're not waiting to see it. You want to hear someone talk about it. So we're going to get into it. When the movie starts out, there's an aggressive drone shot and music that sounds like it's out of a Speed movie, like they're making Speed 3 down the street. I don't know what's going on because there's nothing else in the movie that matches this energy, but it like hits the ground running at 100. So you see this car pull up. This woman is coming out of her house and then she gets shot. And then they do the 3 months later thing, which I think they call that media res, but it's just something that I don't need in movies where they put you at a climactic moment and then say, show this is how we got here. The the crowning jewel of that type of story point is with Mission Impossible 3 to me. They start out with Philip Seymour Hoffman having the Ethan Hunt character and his fiance trapped, it's sort of like a all is lost moment. Something dramatic happens, and then we cut, and then we go back. That it can be a great way to hit the ground running, but it's not always necessary, and it could also become distracting. For me, it was kind of distracting because after a while, I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, what was the point of that? When are we going to get to that? Because there's so much else to think about and what's going on that you just sort of lose the plot in that effect. But we'll get there. That's how the movie starts. But it doesn't smash the credits there. This has one of the best smash the credits I have ever seen. We see this couple. I'm gonna deem this guy Cosby Jr. He looks like a junior version of Bill Cosby to me. I don't know how to describe it. His wife, I swear she looks like an adult sized little woman to me. There are some shots where I'm seeing her, the way she holds her arms and the way little people have to, and like the big head and everything. I'm looking at her. I'm just like, are you a little person? You clearly aren't, but you kind of look like you do, and she doesn't look bad. I was about to say none of the women feel Tubi exclusive to me, but that's not true. The friends, just like in every other Tubi movie, are the ones they look like they're built to just go out to the club and get something, walking around looking like they're wearing a diaper or some shit like that. We have that, but with the two female protagonists, you don't really have that. They're not overtly anything, not overtly dramatic. They don't dress a certain way, whatever. And it's not a judgment on my part. It's just it feels like there's a Tubi standard where we gotta have certain women dressed like that or something. And I don't know where that comes from, but with them, no, they're just sort of just wives. But so we see the couple. They seem happy. Their only little hiccup is he wants a child now, and she said she wants her children 5 to 6 years apart. Now, as a man, we don't really have a place to say anything about that. I mean, you have a place, like your opinion should matter, but I just mean like you have no control over it. Is what I'm saying. But for me, that doesn't seem egregious, but I would rather it be more like 2 to 3 years typically. Just I'm thinking like more like the kids, because as you get further apart, it could be difficult for the siblings to have such varied ages. And as he points out, they're getting older and things like that. So like drawing out 5 to 6 years, it depends on how many kids you want. If you just want to have two, whatever. But you're planning on having 5 kids, and you're gonna wait 5 to 6 years for all of them. That's gonna end up being difficult after a while. That's all I'm talking about. But that seems to be their only little hiccup. They start dancing at some point, and that made me think: do couples do this on a regular? I'm not someone who's well versed in relationships in that way in terms of stuff they do day to day, but I was just left thinking while I'm watching it. It's like, and I don't mean I would assume logically couples dancing around be silly, but I was like, what is this? Like, it literally just feels like they're in the middle of a Soul Train line, just themselves. But it's a prelude to what we're gonna see, which is he got his way because she got pregnant. He got his baby. Their little fake ass baby that cannot be real wrapped up. It almost looks like the baby is. I know swaddling is a thing, but that baby looks almost completely swaddled up and like to the mouth. And there's just something that when you're looking at it, it's like the weight of it seems off. It just doesn't seem real at all. That's fine. You don't need a baby for that scene. But I'm sitting there like, that there's a little Tubi deliciousness right there. But then you have big Hollywood movies that will do the baby doll thing terribly. So it is what it is. You have him say black men don't cheat in the movie within the first 5 to 7 minutes, and I was like, oh, he said it. So that that was funny in itself, but it lends to the movie feeling a little bit self-aware. I don't know how self-aware it's supposed to be, but just a little bit. But you okay. Excuse me. I was trying to remember the case of events. So you see that they're happy, just had their baby, blah blah blah. He seems to be successful. There's a little bit of talk of money and things like that, but money never really becomes an issue in the movie. Not in terms of he doesn't have it or something like that. He runs a bar that I'll get to later, and he seems to be successful as fine. But then you see him drive up to another house, and he walks in, two kids at the table, and a whole other wife. This man has a whole other family. We see that, and then they smashed cut to black men don't cheat, and I was like, oh, Tubi, you've done it again. Glorious smash cut to to the title screen. With his wife, she kind of looks like a skinny Niecy Nash to me, especially in the side profile. You may not feel it straight up, but especially on the side profile, like I keep seeing it. But you learn to realize that she was there first. It's not a situation of like she's the new one that he has, blah blah blah. She was there from the beginning. Uh, there will be talk later on. I don't think it's in the scene, but that she chased him in high school, and her friend does not deny that. She's like, "Oh, that's not a lie. You chased him and you trapped him, presumably with a baby." So that's like the first hiccup right here, where it's just sort of like, nah, the stuff the guy does in this movie is just wow. It's all trash, but they will set him up to be super villain, and then there'll be little moments where it's like, well, he kind of fell into that role, or not everything is as it seems, which I appreciate having a little bit of layers to it. But yeah, my man has a whole ass family. The Niecy Nash looking wife, her hair in this movie, it always looks wild. And I'm not saying it's not a judgment to women, because obviously a lot of women, they got to hold down the household and things of that nature, and it could be a lot. But so I'm not expecting women to just be done all the time and things like that. But her hair just it's like a rest. It's like, what is this? Is there a point to this? You see with the second wife, she has a little sister who I guess is always caught up in some nonsense. Like she was dating a man for 3 or 4 weeks, and then he basically did some revenge porn on her. And she's just like, why do I keep getting mixed up with these dudes? Blah blah blah. And slow down, whatever. And of course, the second wife is just like, I waited for a good man, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, sure you did. Your man is trash. You don't know that, but you're coming from a place of ignorance here. Then you cut to these two hood looking dudes, and one of them will learn to find out that this is the little brother of Cosby Jr. He's one of the standout characters of this movie, just because he feels full too. Be just nonsense all the time, just kind of dialed up, and he's constantly wearing shirts. I've Every single scene he has a new shirt on. If it's not a new shirt, it's a new version of a shirt we already saw. Like there's multiple Fat Ninja shirts he wears. And I'm just like, why this continuously the thing? Do you make these shirts? What someone on staff must make these shirts that you keep wearing. But also, we developed that the fact that he seemed to love a bit of nose candy, so he could be a bit of a f up, and that's probably going to converge. The guy that he's hanging with, you'll kind of forget about, but he becomes important later. There's a moment where like the woman he's with, is badgering him. I don't know what's going on. She's like she needs to pee or something, but she's complaining while the guy is talking, but we don't hear her audio. Like they just cut out her audio, but she clearly looks like she's talking or would be making noise, but you don't hear it. It's edited so weird. Like it's even hard to explain.
The one we slid past, you show?
Yes, the one with the big ass parking lot. Bruh, the nigga only.
We have to see it, but I didn't know why that character was there at first or the scene, but then I learned. So we cut to the friend of the first wife. She wants her to go out because the first wife, she's alone 5 or 6 days out of the week. He only comes through on Saturday, even though they're married. He's like, I got a job, stuff I got to do, whatever. That would tell you right there. Like, especially if you're not with it. Well, why are you doing this? Like, I get it. There's mental things involved and stuff and all that, but I just from an outsider perspective, I'm just like, what are you doing? Just leave him alone. But she wants her friend to go out. It's so weird. Like it with the little sister and the best friend, like they're constantly dressed to be specific, just ass and titties out, look like you need a diaper and stuff. Like what is this you're wearing? They go to the bar, and at first I thought that he had a nightclub. So when he walked in, I was super confused. But even afterwards, I'm looking at this bar that's supposed to be super successful. As far as I know, this is the only way he's making money. And I'm like, you can't even get that many people in this bar. It doesn't look that popping. It looks like someone's basement. What is this? Like you want me, like I've seen nightclub scenes in Tubi movies look way better than this. And the movie does not look like trash. It looks good on a Tubi level. It doesn't look terrible. These days, you can make a good looking movie. You can afford to do it without spending insane amounts of money. You save a lot of money on locations and the people you hire and stuff like that. But they don't look terrible, and you can get drones and stuff like that to get beautiful shots, which you'll see a lot in Tubi movies. Also, so then you slowly learn to come to realize the wives are both coming to this bar at the same time. They don't know each other. They don't know each other exists. You see Cosby Jr. on the phone. He's talking to a third woman that he's setting up. And it's like, oh, he is the trash of trash. Like, he's not going to stop. He has 2 whole families. And like, I'm just going to keep going. Spreading my seed everywhere. Who cares? But they slowly start to converge together. Marcus, the little brother, clearly knows what's going on. He tried to run interference and things of that nature, but they almost come into contact with each other because of the dumb little sister getting too drunk. But they don't. But then there's a little bit of overlap that makes the first wife suspicious, and he gets through that. But then you learn through this that he did cheat before. We're gonna come to find out that it was pretty early on, but. Yeah, he cheated before. He's been trashed for a while. Then we see the dynamic between the Cosby Jr. and his brother, which is not great. The little brother is confronting him about, like, why are you doing this? Why are you cheating? You need to stop this, whatever. And he's like, of course, like, the husband is just like, oh, I learned this from dad. And then the little brother, which is what I say all the time, you saw what cheating did to mom. Why would you keep doing it? I don't understand this rationale. Oh, I've never seen a proper relationship, blah, blah, blah. It does not matter. You saw the consequences of it. So why would you do it too? Even if someone was getting away with it, whatever, you understand right from wrong and all this. Like, that rationale just never flows to me. I'm sorry. I'm just, like, I know in a lot of ways, like, a lot of things are systemic and it gets passed down, and there's certain things that is habits that are really hard to break within a family. But I just hate using it as an excuse. And then he's like, oh, mom created this dynamic, and Dad taught me how to do this right, and I'm like, oh, he is uber trash. Like, fuck this dude. Then he the little brother's name is Marcus. I don't know. I remember that name. I don't remember anyone else's name in the movie. I'm gonna be straight up. But Marcus starts talking a little junk about how, like, because the husband is like, oh, you need to get you a girl, blah blah blah, and little brother's like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting me Star. Second name I remember, but that's a little sister. Why am I remembering the siblings but not the main characters? So then he comes back and he's like, yeah, if you touch anyone in my family, blah 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 blah. Which I'm like, he's also your family, like literally not married into. He is your family, but basically just threatens to eliminate his brother if he does anything stupid. Then you get this sort of inner splice scene of him with both wives. This is where it left me a little disappointed on the Tubi tip because the song is crazy. Listen to the song in this scene, like it. I could see women loving it or like people loving it. It's not that it's a terrible song, but I'm actually listening to the lyrics and I'm like, yo, this woman is wild, like, but just completely honest, but wild. But it actually, I actually like the way this is done. With they used a bit of colored lighting, which I'm used to seeing in low budget movies. They love using uh, different color lighting to accentuate scenes or be artistic. But you have them both bathed in different lights as they're hooking up. And the reason why I say I'm disappointed is usually Tubi gets buck wild with that. Not that you need to see hooking up and the nudity and stuff like that in these movies, but it just feels par for the course. It feels like with Tubi, that's what I expect. And even with Hollywood these days, they keep trying to like pull back from the carnal stuff in movies. But Tubi doesn't do that. It's like this is what we do. It's a free for all in that effect. But they're doing the whole thing of the sheets are covering the butts and they're getting it on and the woman has a bra on and all that. I'm just like, ah. To me, more than anything, that stuff is distracting to me. It's distracting when I see it because I'm like, I don't. This ain't life. This isn't how people get down. So it's just distracting to me. I'm sorry. But you see the connection, whatever. But you also see that the first wife is, in particular, is going through it because she's the one who's getting the short end of the stick. Like she's been around longer, but she hardly ever sees him. The other one, the second wife, she sees him all the time, and he's more attentive and things like that. So then the husband is leaving the house at one point, and then the first wife follows him, sees that he has another wife. So the confrontation is going to come. During that, we also finally see the brother's mom, who is garbage. Like she's terrible. We never see the father, but the mother is like, and they establish after the scene where they just seem to be kind of, or the husband seems kind of callous about the mom. They establish that the mom has substance abuse issues, like the son. So it's kind of like that sort of thing where like the infidelity got passed down to the older brother, but then the younger one is it's a substance abuse use. So it's kind of interesting. Like that actually just hit me when I was saying it because she has it like she's terrible. She's calling him out. Like even she's like that. The drugs is ruining you. Like multiple scenes where he's just like just Scarfacing it up. Um, but Cosby Jr. is confronted. This is a scene that needed to be well done. The acting is passable. It's not terrible really at all, but you really needed to feel it in the scene. Use something personal, whatever, to get it through. But it didn't really have it. Like it wasn't really hitting. It felt kind of dry. She confronts him. This isn't the first time. trying to give him an out to admit it, and finally she just throws it all out there that he's a cheater. She's like, I'm gonna confront the other wife, let her know what's going on. I'm gonna fight for my family, which I'm like, what family? He has a whole other family. Fuck him. Move on. It's that. I know other people are gonna be yelling that too when they're watching the movie. It's like, leave this man alone. He ain't even really doing anything for you. But then there's also the whole thing of she doesn't have a job or anything. If she leaves him, what is she gonna be left with? I know, like, I got us the way they were talking. You know, she would be just out there if he left her. So they probably didn't sign anything to make things better for her. She probably just screwed. Uh, so what happened next? So then the Cosby Jr. gets murdered. We had saw before that at a point where the first wife calls someone and says, I'm going to need a favor. And then we don't come back to that for a while. So they're leading us to believe that she killed him or going to do it. But they keep teasing that the rest of the movie. We don't know who killed him. So we progress. We have a scene where there's like mediation over the money. He left all of his money to the second wife, which is wild. And I don't know when he did that. Was it after they had the argument, whatever? But he left everything to the second wife. And this is also where I just started noting more and more. I'm like, Star, the little sister, why are you dressed like you're about to go to the club in every scene? Like, every scene, them things is stanging, booty is out, all of that. Hold on a second, I'm about to turn off my heat. Excuse me if you heard a little bit of extra noise there. My heat was about to come on. My heat be loud. So, in the mediation, like I said, you find out that he's leaving all of his money and possessions to the second wife. The first wife busts in. This is the first time we see them interact, but it's not as juicy as you would want it to be in a situation like this. But also the little brother is there because he's like, yo, he married her first. Everything should go to her, and he has a closer relationship with the first wife because they've been together longer and all of that, and he lived in the same houses, like with them at some point and things of that nature. So he's writing for her more. But the lawyer is a whole asshole. He is my favorite character in the movie. Like there's a bit in the Rewatchables podcast, the Dion Waiters Award for best heat check performance. They're not in there a long time, but they just come in and just kill it. And for this movie, it's that lawyer who looks like a white version of Taz for me. If for all my pro wrestling fans, he looks like Taz to me. But he is just all about the second wife, just a whole a-hole, quoting Nipsey Hussle to her. Like, she's like, what am I supposed to do if I don't have the money from my husband? He's gone, whatever. He's like, yo, you should go out and get a job. Like, that's the way he comes at her. I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with you? Why are you so hostile? Then my man's hitting the booze at the end. I want a movie with that character. Like, what's going on with this man? This dude is wild. So then you have a little moment where the two sisters are sort of dealing with the loss, and at first, like, it seemed like the little sister was bigging up the husband, like, oh, he did this for me, he took care of my father's medical bills, and he bought me this Gucci stuff when I was 17, and blah 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 blah. And then she just like, yo, all of it was trash. Like, he was just buying our affection and stuff like that. He was never genuine. He was just all trash. Which I was like, thank you. Don't not go down this and start being like, like he's this great guy. No, he was garbage. Just garbage. Leave it at that. And after we set that up, we see the little sister running in the forest, and even though she finally covered up, is still, tight workout outfit. But this little chunky hitman starts running after her, trying to kill her. He is terrible at his job, and we find out like that's basically a plot point. Because I'm sitting there just thinking like, how trash is he at this? But nah, they wrote him to be trash. He's able to shoot her in her ankle before someone comes and helps, which I found funny because the guy comes and he's like, "Yo, you better run." I'm like, he had a gun and you don't, so why are you talking trash? You should be happy that he ran away. So the hit was failed. Then we kind of find out that she hired someone to kill the sister and the wife so she could get the money. You just the first wife. So you just find out that the first wife is just she out here. She's vindictive. She's not. She came off as both of them come off as nice and sweet. Don't get me wrong, but she was the one that we were supposed to sympathize with more, and that now it's just pure heel turn. She's just out here trying to murk people. Then you find out that the little brother knows. The little brother at one point goes to the second wife trying to get money because he was promised money for another bar, and the second wife was like, get out of here. You have a moment where the first wife and the little brother are talking, and they're talking about, how did you let this happen to me? You weren't just a brother-in-law, you were a brother. He's like, yo, I tried to help you. He's like, first of all of this would have went away for both of us if I outed him. He would have screwed me and screwed you. We would have both been out here with nothing. Second of all, he's like, when you found out about when he cheated the first time, I led those breadcrumbs for you. You came back. The fuck you come back for? Which, yeah, don't blame him. You could have had it out. You had it out, and you stayed with him. So it's the choice you made. He's trash. Shouldn't have did that. All of that, but you made that choice. So then we have a scene where the hold on, where am I? Because there's little things that happen, but not really important. Okay, so then you have the scene where the first wife is just sort of giving up on everything. So she's in a room, bathed in blue light, whatever. Her friend with the diaper comes in and is trying to help pick her up. Like, we're going to take you to the hospital, help you out, blah, blah, blah. And she starts confessing that she was basically going to do a burning house on her husband when she first found out he was cheating. But she didn't have the balls to do it. And the friend is like, yo, I didn't come here for this. I came here to help you. You talking about, like... trying to make me an accessory to murder. What are we doing here? So you have all of that. The little brother comes in, and you find out. Well, she had already found this out. He never signed the marriage certificate for the first wife, so it actually makes sense that he left everything to the second wife because he wasn't technically married to the first wife. Maybe you look at it as a common law thing or whatever, but they weren't actually married. Which, this dude was the fucking worst. Fucking garbage. Oh my god. But okay, so we have all of this. We're coming down to the conclusion. Then I'm just like, this is like comedy show stuff where there's like, yo, we gotta wrap everything up. Wrap this up, B. Like, wrap up with that gavel. Come on. So, Marcus gets the second wife. I mean, technically the first, but I'm gonna keep saying second wife. Gets the second wife to come out and meet him. He's like, yo, I found out who killed my brother. Come meet me here, blah, blah, blah. Then, he, that ends up like not going anywhere or whatever. Like that leads to what we saw in the beginning of the movie. But she ended up fine. The sister gets shot, but nothing actually happens to her either. We don't know that at the time. But because the chunky hitman is trash, like you get what you pay for. So So you have the chunky hitman talking with the wife about what's going on. Like he needs his money. She ends up getting killed. So the first wife. Then the little brother takes out Chunky Hitman, who's like his best friend. It's the one we saw in the earlier scene. So complaining about how you screwed everything up. He thinks that at this point he took out the second wife and the sister, so he thinks he's in the clear. So he's like, I'm gonna do all this, but he's doing all of this in the crib where when his mama and the kids from the first relationship are in there. What are you doing? I mean, I guess he didn't know that, but you probably should have. Why are you doing this? Yeah, like all of this is happening. It's like boom. Oh, you did it. All right, boom. You did it. Boom. It just this is how it just starts ending. So then the mom runs out with the kids. She starts calling the cops. He takes himself out. She comes back in. The way they shoot it, where she runs and she's like she, it was like she turned into a mime. It's supposed to be artistic that we can't hear it, whatever. But the way she just turns to where he would be and goes like that is delicious. So we find out. Then they cut to the second wife, or the official wife and the sister. See that they're okay. They make a joke like the wife is like, oh, could we just get some silence, whatever, because like the TV is on, things are beeping, and the sister is like, yo, I got shot 2 times this week. You don't see me bitching. I legitimately laugh, but I'm like, what? Why are we doing this comedy? Mad people would just die. What is this tonal whiplash? Then they find out on the TV about the deaths, and then they're like, year later, and she has a new man, and I guess she wrote a book called Black Men Don't Cheat, or whatever, or Black Men Cheat. I didn't even look at the title, but so it's like a minute scene to show that they're both good now and they got makeovers. That's it. Black Men Don't Cheat. It's not as juicy as or as bad as you might want a Tubi movie to be, but it's pretty entertaining. It's higher level in terms of how it was done. It actually was directed pretty well, and the writing wasn't terrible. It wasn't too hackneyed. It's still a Tubi movie. You feel that, but not as over the top, as silly as you may want. But I would say check it out though. It's not a bad movie, but if you're just looking for Tubi deliciousness, you get it. But it's more about the twists and the turns. It's not more about like over the topness and things of that nature. But that's Black Men Don't Cheat. Let me know what you think of the movie. If you would like me to do more of these, or if you'd like me to do these like do them like reactions, like watch it and react and cut it all together. Let me know if you'd rather me do something like that. But that's my thoughts on Black Men Don't Cheat. Thanks for watching, supporting, liking, subscribing. It helped me grow this channel. I'm going to be doing more of this. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye for now.